Hello, Feathers. This is a channeled message, and for whoever it's for, are you having one of those days where just nothing is working right? Maybe the weather is shit, and maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed and depressed, but you're not quite sure why. Maybe you have a reason, but just tired. This new moon in Libra coming, I think it's tomorrow night. We're gonna, any new moons, we're gonna feel tired and sleepy. We're meant to sort of be and go down into the dark right now to plant our new seeds. And with it being in Libra, we're looking for some sort of balance in our life. This can be karmic too, and also just justice, fairness. The channeled message today is is about, like, are you feeling like you're in the background? Like you're, you know, present but ignorable, like the white noise that emits from the refrigerator or the power line. Are you're essential but forgotten? So, do you feel like you're important to your family or your friends or your household or your work, but you kind of are forgotten about, like a low hum of steady, reliable work or power. You're holding the fort down. But the only way people notice you is if you make like a noise or a fuss or whatever. But then they think you're broken or in need of repair or something to be dealt with. And they only tend to miss you if you're not there, if you disappear, like when the communication is lost or when the ice cream melts and the food spoils, because somebody isn't doing their job, or when November seems to be colder than usual, or when you can't see, because the power got turned off. These are the things we take for granted that keep our lives running smooth, no water, no wind, no power. So maybe you're feeling a little bit like that today. Spirit says you need to find ways to be more efficient in your work, and that's more for yourself, not for other people. Your daily routines, because you have a lot of skills and you have a lot of knowledge in many different areas of life. You might find yourself trying to, work and get down to business and concentrate only to, be asked to fix this, or, can I have advice on this, or, hey, do you want to hear my ideas, like being a sounding board. And that's because you are an asset. You're multi-talented and you're a great listener. People feel drawn to you, and you find that people really open up to you and they come to you when they need, something, because you're really caring and you show genuine interest in their stories and feelings. But at this time, just make sure you show yourself the same attention and care. Protect your energy and spend time on the things that heal your wounds and fill your heart with joy. Often people like you make a huge difference in many people's lives, which brings you joy as well. But at the end of the day, you often feel alone and unnoticed. Or, when people don't need you for that. You've listened or given advice, solved problems. People go back to their, regular lives or work routines or friend circles or whatever. And they seem to only come to you for those specific things. And as hard as that is, you're just not an everyday fixture. You're not a standard. You are an oasis. You're an oracle. And you're a healer. You're here to serve a special purpose on earth, and spirit is always with you and supporting you. You're never alone. So let spirit be your guiding light, as you are for so many. But it can be a lonely road. You also at this time might be feeling like you don't recognize yourself. For whoever this is for, maybe you're just a bit uncomfortable in your own skin. Maybe even your appearance to yourself in the mirror looks different. You could be changing your appearance at this time. Getting, dental work done, or, I don't know, getting a tattoo, just changing your clothes, maybe you're tired of wearing what you wear because it's not really you and you really want to express yourself authentically. So maybe you're, going out and trying to find, what do I want to wear, you know, and maybe you're looking around your house going, oh, I don't want it organized this way. I've always thought it should go the other way. And then there's clutter piling on clutter. That's a bit the energy that I'm feeling, is just this overwhelmment of really needing a change and just wanting to simplify and beautify and really figure out what it is that brings you peace and an environment where you find beauty in it because it's represents you. And although this is extremely overwhelming, because usually when we start changing things and we start digging into our closets and, you know, looking at our furniture and sort of trying to purge. Purging is a really good idea right now. It's like pretend you've got a garden and you want to just reorganize it. You're going to pull out some of your favorite plants, maybe that have been there a long time, and you just don't want them in that spot anymore. And you're going to pull those out gently and you're going to put them off to the side. And then you're going to pull out everything else that you don't want so that you've got a fresh slate. And then you're going to take some time and just, where do I want to put my special plants? And then what do I want to add to this garden? And you're going to plant those seeds. That's what this new moon in Libra is asking you to do. It also might be asking you to take a good look at your relationships. Venus rules Libra, and this is your finances, this is your beauty, this is, your appearance, your self-worth, this is relationships. This is finding, like, go into the dark spots of the relationship, right? And you got to dig it up a little bit. What's been bothering you for a long time? What's really good about it, about the relationship, that maybe you haven't noticed? You might be feeling unnoticed as well, but also make sure the people in your life take a look at them and notice the good qualities that they bring, so that you can start seeing your garden in the future and know that there's going to be these beautiful elements and what enriches your life. And make sure that you're, like, not afraid to let go and walk away from stuff that no longer serves you. And that doesn't necessarily mean walking away from a relationship, but it can mean walking away from, I don't know, an old scar about it, or resentment, which is really difficult. That's what I feel like ruins a lot of relationships, is people sort of carrying resentments forward, and then when something else happens that feels prickly, that other thing comes up, and the other thing comes up, and the other thing comes up, and it's never going to work that way. So if you can, if there's enough in that person that you love, then letting go of, a few things that are maybe just surface level stuff, being able to walk away from that, you'll notice that a lot of that stuff will resolve itself. Quiet time is going to be really important for you, whoever this is for. Yoga, if you're into yoga, or just meditation, Tai Chi, Pilates, walks in nature. I know that's always the recommended thing, and it's kind of boring, but, we need to do that. But just aligning yourself to yourself, and then aligning that self to spirit. How do I feel in my own body? How do I feel in the world? How do I feel in my house? How do I feel in my relationship? I think that you're sort of looking at all these things and feeling a little lost, like I said, a little ignored, but I think you're ignoring, yourself a little bit too, because you're not really sure what to pull forward. But I think you also, in the stillness, have some great ideas that are coming in, and maybe stuff that you've wanted to do for a long time or wanted to wear for a long time, or changing your hair, or whatever it is, your house. I think there's some really exciting ideas, and right now it just feels hard or overwhelming. But like my mom always said, start in one corner, find a room, find your closet, whatever, start in one corner and just slowly work your way out. And try to get rid of the stuff that is in the way of the new garden being planted. And really simplifying your life and making it beautiful and peaceful at this time is really going to help you. And also, a lot of these things come from patterns from our ancestors. It could be generational. It can be just from our parents. Like, patterns. We've always done it this way, and we've passed this down on to our kids and their kids and their kids. And a lot of times we do this subconsciously, and this is the way we've been taught. So this is the way that we live our lives. But is this the way that like serves the best purpose for you? Do you like doing things this way? Take a look at those things. When I do something this way, how does it affect my life? How does it affect me? How do I feel about it? Because there's obviously more than one way to do anything. So maybe something that has been taught, hey, your mother does it this way, she cooks this way, she does it, she cleans this way, she decorates this way, whatever. Try doing it differently. Try to just pretend that you don't know how to do it. How would you do it? How would you teach somebody, to do this in a better way, or a way that's more fun, or a way that just feels better to you? Because you've been passed down keys, but there's so many doors, you don't have to open them all. You can close a bunch of them and you can open a new one, right? This is a time for a transformation. This is a time to go inside, take extra naps, sleep more, be in some more stillness, and allow those ideas to come in. Try not to force them. Don't plan them. Argue with yourself or bang your head against the wall right now. Just be still and patient, and just try to keep clearing your mind. All the busyness comes in, you see it, acknowledge it, and then just let it go again. Just try to keep that nice empty space and allow the new to come in. And same with the ideas, and hopefully you come up with some ideas and you get sort of excited, and you got new plans. Allowing that to arrive too, and not sort of giving up on it because it seems like it's really far away, or it's too expensive, or it's too much work. Just start and allow the changes. Changes take time, but when you plant the seed that's strong, and you're patient and you nurture it, and you just kind of slowly keep working on it, then it will grow into something absolutely beautiful for you. And you're going to just feel so good with this patience. It's so hard to be patient, I know. But allowing the things to unfold and trying to enjoy that journey, and be proud of the work that you're putting in, and be proud of the ideas, and be proud that you're brave enough to change, and brave enough to change everything if you need to. One trap we can get caught up in is when we are frustrated and overwhelmed, we can blame other people for the things that we don't like in ourselves. And that's like super typical, right? And we're in a grumpy mood, or everything's kind of hard, and somebody does something super irritating and we lash out at them, or just get mad or blame or get irritated. And usually that thing is something that we're struggling with. Not always, but so just being aware of that, and utilize that as a tool. Like, what is pissing me off lately, or why is this person, just irritating me so much? And really take a look at that, because it might be something that you just don't like in yourself, and And then maybe that will give you a chance to sort of figure out a way to improve that or change it or shift the mindset. On the other side, since whoever I'm talking to is probably an extreme, we go one way or the other, right? So if we start feeling bad that we've been maybe, I don't know, irritable or angry, or, we feel guilty about some stuff, then we can tend to turn that blame inwards. And again, that's going to poison the new seed, right? And it's going to die, like it just can't grow that way. So we have to really be aware of how we feel when we look inwards, or when just be aware when we're turning that guilt or anger or disappointment inwards to ourselves. Because without love, then nothing can grow, and that includes self-love, obviously. And we all know this, but it's when we've been noisy, because we felt ignored or because we feel a bit empty, and then people, find us annoying, or, start trying to push us back down again, or we hurt somebody's feelings because, we've said something we didn't mean, or we did something we didn't really mean to do. Just remember that you don't have the inclination to do bad things, right? You are a guiding light. You're under a lot of stress and pressure a lot of the time that nobody knows. And so, if something like that happens, just acknowledge it and, apologize or explain, or, just even to yourself, but try not to then turn all that, guilt and blame on the inside. I'm going to pull a last card or two. This card says strength. Everything you've experienced in your life has made you strong and courageous. And that is a fantastic closing card, because that's what it really comes down to. Is sometimes we get to a point in our life where, like, oh my God, like, I'm completely lost. Everything's crazy or overwhelming, or it sucks. And what is it all for? And if we can just take a minute and believe that everything we have gone through up to this point, whether it's changes or shifts or relationships or hardships, challenges, joys, everything that we've experienced has made us strong, and we have been very brave to go through all that. And so to acknowledge that, and then sit with it, and then know that this is just another step, and you have the strength and the courage to get through this next point. With this new moon, this is a new start. This is, what do you want in your life? What do you find beautiful? What gives you peace? What do you want in your relationships? What do you want in your environment? This is you now having the experience and the strength and the wisdom and the bravery to be able to create magic. You are worthy of a magical life. There is magic everywhere. Just so go and take your rope and rope some in for yourself. Get rid of the stuff that's ugly in your life. The stuff that that doesn't make you feel good. And spread your magic, because you are magical. And I wish you the best of luck. And just remember that you are love, and you are loved. And take care.